Recently, I did a video on how much weight our Andersen weight distribution system actually distributes. However, I might have screwed up. I'm going to tell you why, and we're going to find out if I actually did in this episode of Travels with Delaney. Welcome back, everyone. My name's Patrick, and I am so glad you stopped by today. RVing provides us the freedom and independence to get out and explore the country, but let's face it, sometimes it can be just a little frustrating. And that's why over 5 years ago, we started this channel, Travels with Delaney, so that we could share our 17 years of RV experience with you. So when you go out RVing, it can be a little bit more fun and a little bit less frustrating. Now, a few weeks ago, I did a video where I went out and tested our Andersen weight distribution system to see how much weight it actually would distribute. But when I did the follow-up video where I tested our bar system, I realized I had screwed up. And here's where I'd screwed up. When we bought our brand new 2022 Silverado 2500, we had our trailer in tow, it was a hot day, and we were in a hurry to get out of the dealership. And so I quickly just guessed on where the hitch should be. I had never properly set it up. And when I was setting up the bar system, that's when it hit me that maybe the hitch was not in the right place. And sure enough, when I took the actual measurements, the ball on the hitch was too high and I needed to lower it down. So today we're going to go run that same test over again, but we're also going to add in the caveat of we're going to start where I normally run it with 5 threads showing on the Andersen, and then we're going to run it a second time. We're going to crank on that a little bit more, get maybe 7 or 8 threads showing, and see will that transfer more weight. Let's head to the cat scale. We're going to be doing 4 weighs today. We're going to weigh the truck and the trailer with no weight distribution. Then we're going to put the Andersen on with 5 threads showing, we're going to weigh. Then I'm going to crank that up to about 7 threads showing. And then finally, I'm going to drop off the RV and weigh just the truck so we can determine a tongue weight. And then we'll figure out what all these numbers mean. All right, here we go. Let's do a weigh, accept the fee. This is the truck with just the trailer, no weight distribution. Done. Now we're going to pull around and we will put the Andersen weight distribution system onto the truck and trailer. The chains are on, 5 threads showing. Let's go reweigh. Looks like we'll just sit here and wait. Somebody is in front of us weighing, and as soon as they are done on the scales, we'll get the second weigh done. While we're sitting here, this would be a good time to thank our sponsor for today's video, Bob's Mug Coffee. Brew better, brew Bob's Mug. Bob's Mug Coffee is roasted fresh when you order it and bagged up and shipped directly to your front door. It's probably the freshest roasted coffee you can find without roasting it yourself. And you can brew better because every cup of coffee, you're helping to make a wish. 5% of all of Bob's Mug Coffee profits go to the organization Make-A-Wish, helping to grant a child's wish. Brew better, bobsmugcoffee.com. All right, here we go. We've got it. Now let's go crank that Andersen just a little bit tighter, and we'll see what effect that actually has on the weight distribution. Scale is empty. Got it. Let's go drop the trailer and then we'll weigh just the truck, and then I am really excited to dig into these numbers. Here we go. Trailer is gone. We're gonna weigh just the truck. Make sure we're on the appropriate scales. Boom. There. All right, got it. Now that the weighs are done, we can dive right into these numbers. So let's go ahead and start looking. I've broken these numbers down to try to make them easier to understand. So we weighed just the truck, and we found that the front axle on the truck weighed in at 4,100 pounds, and the rear axle was at 3,620, giving us a gross vehicle weight of 7,720 pounds. Now, I needed that number so that once we weighed with the RV, we could figure out what the tongue weight was. When we weighed with the RV hooked up to the truck, but no weight distribution, now our front axle on the truck was 3,780, our rear axle was 3,720, and the trailer weighed in at 4,980 pounds. The gross vehicle weight on the truck this time through was 8,500 pounds, which means we added 780 pounds to the weight of the truck, giving us a hitch weight of 780 pounds. Now, we'll use that number to figure out what percentage of weight was actually distributed. So the first question we wanted to ask with this test was, by having the hitch hooked up properly, meaning at the ball at the proper height, would that make a difference? Because if you remember at the start of this video, I said that originally I didn't realize, but the hitch had never been set up properly for our new Silverado. It was kind of just thrown in there quickly to get us back on the road. So I ended up lowering the hitch down one hole in terms of where the bolts go to get us to what Andersen recommends is the proper height for their weight distribution hitch. So here's what we did. We weighed with 5 threads showing on the bolts that hold the chains in place. That's the same place they were when I recorded the last video, but it was just that the hitch was in the wrong place. Now, when I went through, these are the weights I ended up getting. The front axle was 3,880 pounds. The rear axle of the truck was 4,420 pounds, and the trailer weighed in at 5,040 pounds. So what ended up happening was we were able to distribute 160 pounds. 100 pounds went to the front axle of the truck, and 60 pounds went to the trailer axle. So how does that compare? Well, when I ran the first test where I unknowingly had it installed incorrectly, we distributed 15% of the weight. In essence, we saw 120 pounds being shifted, and at the tongue weight at that time, it was 15%. But with the hitch installed properly, that number jumped up by almost 6%. It actually came out to a little over 20.5%. I just rounded it up to 21%. And so by having the hitch ball set at the proper height, we were able to increase the amount of weight being distributed. But then a lot of you were telling me that if I would just crank down on those chains a little bit tighter, that we should be able to see an increase in weight distribution. So I decided to go ahead and put 2 more turns on. When I did that, we reweighed, and the front axle on the truck was at 3,880 pounds. The rear axle on the truck was at 4,480 pounds, and the trailer axles weighed in at 5,040 pounds. Gross vehicle weight, 8,240 pounds. I don't know if you caught that, but there was absolutely no difference between having the chains tightened to 5 threads showing and having the chains tightened to 7 threads towing. It came out literally identical on the weighs, which put our percentage of weight being distributed to 21% both times. In a prior video, I had actually compared the Andersen to the Easy Lift R3 recurve bar system, and that bar system actually did distribute more weight, and it distributed 24%. So it's still more than the 21%, but the gap is a lot closer. Now, if you didn't see that test, I'm gonna go ahead and pop that video right up here for you to watch next. Till next time, everybody, we'll see ya on down the road. Good night.